stated earlier how it was a fantastic show, and how, on behalf of myself, and Banner Promotions, Tony Palulo, and Top Rank, we are very proud of this night. But the entire night was really, really, the icing on the cake was the main event. I mean, that was probably one of the best fights I've seen in many, many years. And you know, it's really, really fitting when you have the build-up that we had this week for this fight. We had every possible analogy and cliche you could talk about, with the bull and the matador, and you know, the college graduate master's degree that Chris has, the fact that he's been featured in the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, all those kinds of publications that normally might not cover boxing, and versus, you know, the real Siberian tiger in Ruslan Provodnikov. But one thing that I'm extremely pleased to have seen is that Chris showed that he also is a warrior in the ring. And he showed that in addition to having the character and background that he has outside the ring, he also has inside the ring. And you couldn't have wrote a better script. Chris Algieri got off the deck twice from the first round, had his eye completely closed, and yet he defeated one of the most fearsome fighters in the game, in Ruslan Provodnikov. So I say right now, you look back to the old great fighters, but I'm saying right now that I firmly believe a new star has been born in the boxing industry, and that's Chris Algieri.
Nice, look at that. I can't see on that side, so. I always said Arturo Gatti was my favorite fighter in high school, but I never wanted to fight like him, and I think I might have turned it in for half a night. But yeah, no, it was such a great opportunity. I'm so happy that this all came together the way it did. You know, Ruslan was a guy that nobody wanted to fight, and I had said that, you know, for me this wasn't just about the title. This wasn't about making more money than I've ever made. This isn't about the future, about making money. This is about me winning tonight. I was more concerned about coming out of here 20-0 than coming out of here a world champion. So for me, it's my competitive nature to want fights like this, and that's what kept me in this fight. You know, there was a lot of doubters going into this fight, how much I really wanted it. Ruslan kept talking about he would die in the ring, would I be willing to do that? And I think that I showed that I belong there as well, even though I didn't come from, you know, a torn, you know, childhood or upbringing. I came from the suburbs of Long Island. I don't have to fight. I fight because I love to fight. And if you didn't see passion in those 12 rounds, then I don't know what you were looking at. So I just want to thank everybody involved. I want to thank, you know, Joe and Artie and all the promotions that came together for this fight and gave me this opportunity. I want to thank the champion for taking a big risk and a gamble and taking this fight, coming here to New York, and putting this bad boy out.
Congratulations on your victory. I don't know if this was asked before I came in here. It's one thing to win a world title. What was it like for you not only to win the title, but to do it with the entire crowd chanting, you know, Algieri, the entire fight? And did you hear that during the course of the fight?
I really heard when I came out, and I heard that they actually booed Ruslan a little bit, which I'm not happy about, but it did show my numbers were here. And but I had said that prior to the fight, and a lot of people were asking me what the crowd was going to be like, and I said it was going to be a pro-Algieri crowd. You know, and I said multiple times in the past that this is how I pictured me winning a world title, having it in New York and fighting like this. I didn't picture my face like this. But.
Chris, I know you probably felt like you were winning. Did you think the judges were seeing you winning? Did you expect to get the decision when the fight was over?
You know, I'm really thinking about it. As odd as that probably sounds. You know, I was in the moment of each round and trying to, you know, it was all of a sudden I looked up and it was the 11th round, and I knew I was winning and winning each round. But at the end, I wasn't really too nervous about it. I was just waiting to hear end new. I just wanted to hear that end new.
I read somewhere that you have a Argentina background. If that is correct, I ask the second question. That's correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. We have Matisse, we have Maidana, Martinez. How you see yourself now? You know, you have all basically your background as American and live in the United States. If they in Argentina, did they know about you? Not the way they know about them because they've been fighting from over there, but did they embracing you as one of their champions and that elite group as Argentinian fighters doing well in the United States?
Yeah, since my last, yes, the answer is yes. I've been reached out by a lot of the Argentinian fans recently, since the last fight really, when I started getting more national exposure, and I guess it got more international exposure. My social networking is very strong, and I get contacted quite a bit from people from
Usually when a guy won the title, the first question is, what is next? And usually the fighter say, what I want to do is take a rest, right? But prior to this, did you ever thought that when I win the fight, I become a champion, this is what I would like to do next, or this is who I would like to fight next?
I don't really have an idea of who I want to fight next. We'll sit back and see.
Well, Bob Arum said if he wins the fight, he's got Manny Pacquiao next.
Okay.
That's what he said.
Nothing bigger nothing bigger in the game.
That's what Bob Arum said.
Right here.
You mentioned your Long Island background as like not being spoiled or being spoiled in privilege.
No, I didn't.
No. You mentioned compared to a war-torn background, growing up in Long Island. I'm a fellow Long Islander. Do you think that kind of put a chip on your shoulder to win more, to prove that because you didn't come from a hard background, you had more to prove?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't so much that it was a chip. It just got brought up a lot.
Yes.
It kept getting brought up and brought up and brought up, and you know, I think a lot of people are questioning my resolve because of that. And I think a lot of people don't understand why I fight at all. So they don't believe that is that true, but I think I proved that.
Chris, how hurt were you? How hurt were you in the first round?
The only punch that hurt me actually the whole night was that first left hook. I didn't see it. I threw a sloppy left hook out of my hand down. I got caught with that hard shot. That put me down, and my eyes started swelling immediately. So that second night, I just took a knee to gather really what was going on in my eye, more so than actually gather my wits.
Chris, congratulations. Chris, congratulations, okay? 2 questions. I want to touch on your strategy for taking a knee in the first round, considering that was going to put you at a major deficit as the fight would prolong, okay? What was the logic behind that, and were there any concerns that you created an obstacle that may have been hard to overcome?
It's harder to overcome getting stopped than it is overcoming a knockdown. So after that first knockdown, I wanted to make sure that my eye was okay before I got hit with another shot while trying to gather myself on my feet. I figured I'd gather myself on my knee. That way I don't get hit with another shot that could really have injured my eye and possibly ended the fight.
And the last question, how much could you see out of the eye?
I was good until about the 8th round.
Couldn't see anything after the 8th?
No, I could see it was starting to affect me after the 8th. By the 12th round, it was shut. I couldn't see it. He hit me with a jab right in the beginning of the 12th round, and it was gone.
Yeah, the ninth round in the corner, it looked like they were going to stop the fight. What was going on in the corner? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
The New York Athletic Commission is fantastic. The doctors gave me a chance because they saw that I was doing well and winning the fight. I believe if I'm out there going and a boxing guy, my eye half shut, obviously I can still see someone.
Was there an argument in the corner? That's what I'm asking about.
Not really. They were just concerned for my health. They were making sure that I could see.
Okay, 2 short questions. When did you know you were actually winning the fight after your struggles in the first round?
I feel like I stopped getting hit after the 4th round. And even at that point, they were few and far between, and they were big, wide moving shots. Like I said, the only shot that really hurt me was that first left hook in the first round.
Hey Chris, congratulations. When I interviewed you, you mentioned that you had only been a professional boxer for 6 years, and that's quite impressive. how does it feel? I mean, all other questions aside, how are you feeling right now, knowing that you've defeated all the odds and you're now world champion?
Good. Yeah, no, it's kind of hard to express that much feeling into words, but I don't know. I feel it's been a surreal. This whole thing, I've enjoyed every moment of it. I really have. Everything, all the whole build up, everything going on into this fight. You know, this I told Ron this the other day. I'm built for this stuff. You know, I enjoyed everything leading up and just the pageantry, the movement, and the events, and it's cool. You know, and I like it. So I really enjoyed every step of the way.
Mike Woods, last question.
Yeah.
Chris, not to put you on the spot, but brother, I think you earned the fight with Manny Pacquiao. Bob Arum promised it. Bob Arum called it. I thought you were a master ring general in there tonight. So, what about Manny Pacquiao? What would that fight look like? How much do you want it?
It's a good fight. It's a great fight. You know, to be in there with a guy like Manny, you know, definitely a future Hall of Famer. Be awesome. Be awesome. And I think stylistically, it could be a good matchup. He's another dangerous guy. But I think, you know, my style would match up well with his. So that's hey, that could be a very real possibility. But I don't really know what happens next.
Joe?
Chris,
Joe?
thank you. We gotta get Chris checked out.
Joe, can you talk about that?